Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning into The Mike Lee Show. Tonight, we're with a musical legend. He's one of the co-founders and one of the original members of the hit 90s group Guy. Help me welcome Mr. Timmy Gatling.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, man, thanks for joining us today. How have you guys been holding up, you and your family, during this COVID-19? How have you guys been doing?
My family is doing well. We had no issues. My heart goes out to those who lost, loved ones and family members. But so far, we've been holding up safe and keeping each other accounted for, so we good.
So what have you been up to, man? What has Timmy Gatling been up to?
Well, I've been still working and stuff. I'm also a vice president of Pop Life Global Universal, with China-based company, but also distributed by Universal. So I'm vice president over urban and Latin music.
Wow, that's pretty fascinating, man. Well, listen, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about this incredible group that you used to be with Guy and how that all came about. How did Guy come about?
A friend of mine by the name of George Sudrick, when we were young, we were looking for a group because my brothers and I used to emulate the Jacksons.
Mm-hmm.
So even though we became locally very popular and we used to lip sync, but that became old, not quick, but after we started, our voice started to change and everything. I took it more serious and wanted to, actually, make an attempt to sing and while we danced. Because at the time, I really didn't play an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
And so a friend of mine named George Sudrick, who we called Sway at the time, we went on a journey to look for this band, even though it was a 5-block radius back then. 5 blocks was different neighborhoods. I don't have to tell you, you go in another neighborhood, it's a whole nother different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
The way we went and attempt to look for a band, and we got up to 127th and 7th Avenue, and it was a band playing down in the basement, and they sound like, these guys sound like the actual record. They're playing top 40 hits, but they sound like the actual record. So we went down there, and when we looked through the gate, because they had the gate closed, but you could still look in while they was rehearsing. And when we looked in, it was this little kid on the keyboard playing with these older teenagers. And that's when we were like, wow. And so they saw us standing there. So eventually, when they took a break, they let us in and talked to us a little bit. And we told them, we was a group with my brothers and I and 2 friends, and we was looking for a band to really back us up. And so Cap said, well, we're the older band. It was a guy by the name of Cap. They call him short for Captain. And he said, well, if you come back, and my eyes was focused on Teddy because this is a little kid. I'm basically 1.5 or 2 years older than him, but then it was just amazing to see this little kid playing with the 18, 19, and 20-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
And so they told us if we came back, that there was a younger group that played. Now, I'm looking at Teddy, but I didn't think he was with the younger group if he playing with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
But when we came back that evening, that's when Teddy was also playing with the younger band. And so I brought my 2 younger brothers. We did our routine. And they said, yeah, they'll back us up. They'll play with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's how Teddy and I met.
Wow. What are some of your fondest memories, man, when you think now, where you are now, after all of your accomplishments, and looking back at you guys, little boys in New York, just having fun, man. What are some of your fondest memories?
My fondest memories is summertime, block parties, the groups, and us finding venues to play in, singing contests, laughing and clowning each other, almost getting into fights, and then coming right back around to act like the next day like nothing ever happened.
Nothing ever happened, right?
Yeah, we had look back on it, it brings tears to my eyes because a lot of the guys we grew up with trying to make it when we were young, they passed on.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It's like, wow, it seems like only yesterday, but
yesterday. Wow.
Yeah.
So who owns the name to the group? Do you own that name?
No. Matter of fact, I think that Teddy owned it. Now, first Aaron owned it. Now I believe Teddy owned it.
Okay.
I will own it.
Mm-hmm.
Own it without owning it anyway.
Exactly. Do you feel responsible, or do you feel that you contributed to the sound of New Jack Swing?
Of course.
Absolutely.
I never liked the name really. At first, I didn't want to be like labeled.
Right.
Because we was just putting a twist and a swing
Mm-hmm.
on the beats,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to be different.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to be labeled, but Teddy did Keith Sweat. But if you listen to the Keith Sweat album, the song that really has the swing on it is I Wanna.
Last night, saw you standing there. Couldn't picture the color of your hair. And all I wanted to know, were you really there?
But people didn't look at that album as a New Jack Swing.
Mm-hmm.
Except it was more of a classic R&B record. But when Guy came along, we put it in your face every song. You couldn't help but listen to that swing beat.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the arrangements and the instrumentation was also, to me, outstanding.
Why did you leave the group?
Well, I left the group. It wasn't so much me leaving. It was more I was ousted. There wasn't a leader, but yet I was the leader because I came up with the name. Me and Teddy been together ever since we was 13 and 14. And so I was basically like Ted's, big bro. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why? And I acted like that always. So I was the one who came up with the name. Even though I created the group, I was how can you put it? I was the unofficial leader because I brought Aaron in.
Mm-hmm.
All of the lyrics, came up with the concepts. Aaron and I had songs written because Aaron used to come over. Me and my wife had a studio on 146 in Convent at the time. And Aaron was over my house every morning. So we had already written Goodbye Love and Piece of My Love, and Don't Clap Your Hands, Just Dance, way before we took it to Teddy.
Mm-hmm.
When I took it to Teddy, I just wanted Teddy to help co-produce the group with me because Teddy had access to the big studios with working with Kool Moe Dee and Keith.
Mm-hmm.
But once Aaron and I met with Teddy, and Teddy heard us and heard the songs and heard Aaron's vocals and heard that the arrangements was basically done. Because when I write lyrics and play bass, I also, while I'm writing, most writers do this. I don't believe it's nothing special. But when you write, you're arranging it at the same time because you got your 8-bar chorus or your 4-bar chorus into the first verse, into the chorus again, which then you make the chorus 6 or 8 bars. Then you go into the second verse, then you go into the change. So that's how I write. So Teddy was like, I'm down. I don't only want to help you, I want to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, that's even better for me. We're friends. We've been doing this. We done had so numerous rehearsals as little boys and now teenagers and men. So it was like, it was a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
But once we got down and once we started to make it happen, and one thing I could say that I did wrong, I brought Gene back into the fold of the group, which I did and never did because Teddy really didn't want Gene back, period.
And that was your manager, right?
Yes, Gene Griffin. Yeah, and so, but long story short, it's like once success came and once that first single grooved me, doing well, Gene tried to strong arm and pull, try to make us sign contract that I wasn't gonna sign.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not signing this.
Right.
First of all, we were young, so it's not like I was smart or I was just highly intelligent. It was just God was with me. I wasn't going to sign nothing, a thick-ass contract that I don't know what's in it and whatever. And I was the only one that really, I believe at the time, that was even concerned about, it's not just a fame. What are we doing? So let's have somebody looking over. Well, he didn't like that.
So tell me, what was it in you that made you skeptical about signing the contract? Normally, kids just want to go off and sign contracts. They don't get attorneys. We've heard about this happening in the industry so many times. So what was it about this situation with you being so young that made you concerned about this contract?
Again, I say it's nothing special. I had one of the things that was in my corner. We had experience with Gene Griffin before, with kids at work. We wanted everything you said, all of the above, we did. We wanted the fame. We didn't know about the business. We were just younger. And we signed contracts with the same person. So that experience alone, it ain't gonna go around this time.
Right.
So it was basically, I went through this before with you.
Right.
And I ain't doing it. That was different.
I was looking at some of the liner notes and I saw Gene's name on it. Was Gene a writer? Did he write with you all? I mean, why would his name be on the liner notes?
I respect Gene Griffin as far as his discipline, his style, and basically teaching us how to do interviews, how to dress, etiquette, how to present ourselves. But Gene Griffin wasn't a writer. Gene Griffin wasn't a producer. I don't even recall Gene Griffin having good ears. There's a couple of times where he can pick hits, but it wasn't like, oh, Gene Griffin, you're going to give him a piece of paper and a pad and stick him in the room and he's going to come out with 2 and 3 songs. Well, God bless me. That's one of my gifts. I could come out with 2 and 3 songs within an hour. All different style, different instrumentation, different arrangements, everything. Gene had that. Teddy, now Teddy's not so much a songwriter, but Teddy is a
musician.
It's a arranger, mixer, a drum programmer, keyboardist.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm knocking with that.
Wow. Well, you are truly an icon. I mean, when you think about all the things that you've done in the music industry from 1984, you guys growing up, starting Guy, what you've done in the culture of our music has been pretty profound. You created a genre of music, and that is to be rewarded, and it's a huge accomplishment.
I greatly appreciate it, and I give all thanks to the holy, holy, holy God, and the people that came up with it, because we didn't do it by ourselves. Right. And I had interviews where I said before, the king of the New Jack Swing. No, it wasn't. It took a lot of people making sacrifices so that myself, Aaron, and Teddy, could really set a precedence in music, in the R&B music industry.
Your catalog extends from 84 to 2000 and even more with Guy, of course, Timmy Gatling, yourself with your solo album, I'll Be Sure, Jasmine Guy. I remember that. I bought that album. That was a really good album, BBD. I got Legit in the room. Legit. It's on.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, the brothers are up there. Christopher Williams, Kid at Work. Of course, you guys were in that.
Right.
Alton Stewart.
Wilkie, that's my brother.
Stephanie Mills. Now that's legendary. What was it like to work with Stephanie Mills, the legendary Stephanie Mills?
Let me keep it real, totally real with you. It's like a dream come true. Yeah. Because in the 3rd and 4th grade, we went to a school right across from where we lived in the tenement building called PS 180. So we had took one of the field trips, and one of the trips was going to see the Wiz on Broadway.
Wow.
And so I grew up on the Wizard of Oz, and with Judy Garland. And so that's all we knew, Thanksgiving and stuff, the Wizard of Oz come on. But to see
10 Commandments, Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah.
Holiday movies. Yeah.
So to see Stephanie and this, little African-American girl on stage with a voice powerful than the whole damn, and I'm 8 and 9 years old. It was incredible. So now I'm 24, 25, and they are flying me to California to produce Stephanie Mills. Me and my partner, Alton Wilkie Stewart. And they flew us because they really wanted me, but only because Guy had broken up. And that sound, that image, that style was brand new and it was on fire. So when they found out I left the group, but I was one of the main songwriters. I had a lot of people coming after me. But Cassandra Mills, who had a creative star management company, she also managed Christopher Williams and Robert Brookins and Stacey Dash.
That was Stephanie Mills' sister-in-law, right?
Correct. And so they brought me out, her and Lil Silas, me out to California. And I think that Stephanie Mills, to meet her was like, you starstruck.
Right.
She's so little though, and that's a shock.
but a power pack, like inner.
She literally went in 1.5 to 2 takes. Yeah. We did the song "Ain't No Cooking in the Kitchen," and she finished it within 2 takes.
Wow.
And I still don't know today whether we was just starstruck, or we were just, because we'd never heard nobody with that discipline with vocals like that.
Wow.
And she knocked it out, and I believe that was part of the test, because right after that, Lil Silas and Gerald Busby said, "Okay, next you doing Christopher Williams. Next you doing Bell Biv DeVoe. Next you doing Ralph Tresvant. Next you doing..."
God started busting you in, bro.
Yeah, so it was like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
But you still had to come up with the hits, though.
I want to talk a little bit about where we are with the state of R&B music. What happened to R&B music?
I think R&B has never left. I believe it disappeared because of, how can I put it? I think that the industry, it's about money.
Mm-hmm.
It's about making it quick. It's like microwave. And all of a sudden now you have hip hop artists and rappers singing. They're not singers, but they singing. Mm-hmm. And when now you don't have the R&B, the pop and whatever charts anymore, you gonna go with what's hot at the time. Mm-hmm. And so you have artists, which I'm not, no complaints or whatever, but you have artists like Drake. You have artists like the Migos. You have artists like Nicki Minaj. You have artists like Lil Wayne. You have artists like, now it's not about whether you can rap and sing, but now it's about your global appeal.
Mm-hmm.
So real singers and you don't need a whole album, and you don't need to market and promote and do none of the things that the record companies had to do before. Usually an artist will be on a label and you will have 3 or 4 albums before you hit.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that no more. You got one shot. And now you have a lot of artists, local artists, they could make hit from their bedroom and from their living room.
Yeah.
Make it, it's on the radio. But R&B is coming back. R&B ain't never left, but it's getting ready to make a resurgence, because now you have, like I just signed off on my birthday, which was August 6th.
Mm-hmm. Happy birthday.
Signed off on 2 Chainz and Lil Wayne doing Money Maker,
mm-hmm.
because they did Piece of My Love. And so I'm still like, it's amazing, and I'm so grateful that you still have artists like Big Sean, Chris Brown, Lil Wayne, 2 Chainz, J-Rock, all of them still doing our stuff.
That's incredible.
And platinum and double platinum.
Right. And you what's happening right now is 2 Chainz and even Mariah Carey. You're being sampled as we speak.
Exactly.
What's it like to still be, man, since '84, and now to have your music duplicated by artists that are legendary, and even somebody like 2 Chainz?
Wow. It's an honor, and it gives nobody but Jesus, because you're talking about 31 years later. It's like, to still be relevant. A lot of artists can't say that.
Yeah.
A lot of artists can't say that. We have these artists that are like Snoop and Mariah did Crybaby, which was Piece of My Love. In Vogue redid Piece. It's so many artists that redid that song, and a few that did I like. But Piece of My Love is one of the most highly sampled R&B records. And to have 2 Chainz and Lil Wayne do your song on Mariah, it's like, whoo.
Yeah.
It's like artists that really don't have to, but yet it's an honor, and I'm grateful.
Just so you see why we call you.
And Aaron is too.
Why we call you an icon.
Oh. Shit, I will never call myself that. There's so many other artists that I look up to. There's so many other people that never became popular, but that we learned from. That.
Let's talk about you, man. You look at you. Look at where you are and everything that you've accomplished. How did you stay away from the pit holes of the industry? With everything that has happened to so many incredible artists that we know who've fallen. And look at all of you guys, man. How did you stay out of trouble? How did you stay away from the pitfalls of all the things that go on in the business? How did you do it?
It's totally God. And I'll tell you this, Aaron Hall looked incredible. I talked to Aaron. You could see Damien on social media. He looks incredible. Teddy, I talked to Teddy. This is amazing. Mm-hmm. I talked to Teddy 3-4 nights ago. Yeah, he still looks good. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's Jesus. It gotta be God. It's totally God. I mean, we in our 50s and it's like, you still got like on social media, young girls and stuff. Oh, please, y'all need to get back together. Oh my God, you look like this, you look like that. Mm-hmm. Why can't y'all? That's just a blessing from God, that God allowed us to still be here and to still be relevant because of music that 3 young boys decided to say, you know what? Let's attempt to do something different. Mm-hmm. Let's attempt to bring that Gap Band sound back in a new way. And look at Charlie Wilson. Look how good he looked.
Right, right. Do you think that we will ever be able to get the 4 of you guys on stage again?
Listen, I told Damien this on his social media. And me and Teddy, we supposed to speak again.
You know what that would do for the people?
Oh my goodness. Nothing is never impossible. Where Jesus Christ is involved, nothing is ever impossible. And I believe that. I think like that with every fiber of my being. I believe nothing is impossible. And I believe that if the money is right and we just remove the egos and just say, you know what? White rock groups could do it. I mean, now there's a precedence in time. We don't have to do a full tour, but we damn sure could have 8 shows back to back and see how that goes. And I guarantee you the shows probably sell out before the nightfall.
Yeah, oh, for sure. A dream come true would be to have you guys 4 nights, 8 nights, videotape that.
Yes.
Package that where we can hold that for our last,
Forever. And that's how it would have to be. Really, and it would have to be millions of dollars. It would have to be millions to make it worth everyone while. But I tell you what, if it did happen, it would be one of the most incredible, exciting, exhilarating moments in R&B history. Yeah.
Like when Bad Boy did
New Edition and the Jacksons.
If God could come together, that would be just like...
Besides New Edition and the Jacksons, this is a long-awaited present we need to give people.
Yes, yes. If you could change anything, what would you change?
I could name 2-3 things. One thing is, there was a friend of mine that if it wasn't for him really supporting us and really giving to us, that he believed in us when nobody else did. I remember having a dream and praying that God let us be like the Black Beatles. Mm-hmm. This man, he was my best man at my wedding. Mm-hmm. He was a white guy, Caucasian guy. He go by the name of David Peasley. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I regret in my life, a quick story, Gene and Teddy, after we finished 3-4 songs, Gene and Teddy went to try to get a deal, chop a deal. They couldn't get a deal. Mm-hmm. So Gene and Teddy called me up where I live and said, we can't get a deal. We don't think this is gonna happen. And me and my friend, David Peasley, we said, okay, let us try for a week. Mm-hmm. Within a day, David Peasley had a relationship with Tommy Boy.
Wow, that's it.
Had a relationship with Russell Simmons. Mm-hmm. He used to do this dance report magazine. And so he used to write about artists, and he was one of those guys could make or break your record locally. Mm-hmm. And we became close friends. And so we went to Tommy Boy And Tommy Boy was the first, Tom Silverman and Monica Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
They were the first ones to offer us $200,000. And so we bought Gene and Teddy the next day. We bought the group in, and if I could change something, I would. I can admit that it was going so fast that I closed David Peasley out.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, okay, because I was looking for somebody that was fly, can represent us, stern, was serious when he walked into the room.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not realize that God had someone there that we didn't need that.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing that. And Dave Peasley was more of the, like the Beatles manager, David Epstein. Brian Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
Was basically, he was gay, but he was business, and he knew how to finesse as opposed to be dogmatic.
Mm-hmm.
We needed that at the time, and if I could change that, I would.
Is he still alive?
No, he passed away. And one more thing, when Teddy said I didn't want Gene down,
mm-hmm.
when I met Gene, because I met Gene at the car wash on 127th, when he got out of prison.
Mm-hmm.
And when I posed this to Teddy, Teddy was like, no, I don't want to deal with him no more. I should have listened to that.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But I don't really regret.
Right.
And now those two things really, really, still to today, I've forgiven myself and whatever, because I know people say, oh man, that ain't shit. Because I'm from the streets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, forget about you in a second too, but there's certain things that touch my heart that if I could change, I have to also take responsibility for that.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, you know what? I say you're free. You just you're free. I want to say to you, man, thank you so much for this interview with us tonight. You are so respected. You look at you, man. You did good. If you would have rocked out tomorrow, brother, you did good. You created. You've been a part of creating a sound of music that we in the 90s. To me, the 90s was the best part of music.
Woo! It was competition too.
Hard, so much competition, so much talent. Girl groups, R&B, hip hop coming out, New Jack, everything, just a melting pot of rap, R&B singers. You know, everybody. It was everything all in one bubble. You know, but it was great. It was great music, and you're a part of that.
Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you, man.
Thank you for what you contributed, and thank you for joining us tonight. Any last
Thank you,
words
mommy.
before we leave?
Say that again?
Any last words before we leave?
Yes. I want to say praise God to all those who supported me, and I'm grateful, like yourself and other avenues and the people and those who bought our records and those who still demand that we get back together, and those musicians who seem to be giving up. There was a point in time when Teddy and I would say, you know, we need to quit this. But nah, hang in there. Don't stop. Believe in yourself, believe in God. And if you stick to it, it's amazing what God can do for you. And 32 years later, look at us.
That's great, man. Thank you for joining us tonight, man.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you, my man.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us right here on the Mike Lee Show, sponsored by Radar Radio. Tonight was an incredible night with the one and only legendary producer himself, Mr. Timmy Gatling. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on the Mike Lee Show.